So over the years, the NFL has banned multiple plays for multiple reasons, and obviously most plays have been banned due to safety concerns and the kind of plays that endanger player safety. And today we're going to be going over the most bizarre plays that have been banned by the NFL, as these are some of the most interesting plays that have been banned, most due to endangering player safety and for safety concerns. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it here. But before we do, if you guys are new around here, make sure to go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And also drop a like on the video if you do go ahead to enjoy, and comment down below which play you found the most bizarre. But we'll first go ahead and start with head slapping, as the head slap was banned by the NFL in 1977, stating it is illegal for a defensive lineman to strike an opponent above the shoulders during his initial charge. And originally it wasn't banned for Hall of Fame defensive end Deacon Jones. He was popularized for the head slap move during his pass rushes when he played in the NFL from 1961 to 1974. He had 173.5 sacks, and that is third all time in the NFL. But many of those came after slapping the offensive lineman's head to briefly freeze them. Now, Jones was not the first to use the head slap, but he used it better than anyone. He played for the Los Angeles Rams, San Diego Chargers, and the Washington Redskins. This was a defensive lineman who was 6'5", 272 pounds, and in a flash, he slaps you on the helmet as hard as he can, momentarily stunning you and getting right past you. The problem with the head slap, though, as with many of these plays, is that it was injuring players. Obviously, the move was extremely effective, especially for Deacon Jones, and he really mastered the head slap move. But because of the injury concerns a few years after Jones's retirement from the NFL, the league did ban the head slap. You guys may have heard of the head slap penalty because Houston Texans backup defensive end Derek Barnett had a head slap penalty called on him during a Cowboys field goal during the 2024 season on November 18th, as he slapped the back of Dallas lineman Terrence Steele's head and nearly blocked Brandon Aubrey's 64-yard field goal, and the penalty resulted in 15 yards and an automatic first down for Dallas. Now, another bizarre play that was banned by the NFL, and rightfully so, was the clothesline tackle. And obviously we've heard of targeting and the horse collar, but the clothesline tackle is one of the more interesting ones. Another general term that could be or could go along with the clothesline tackle was the forearm shiver, as this was banned somewhere around in the 1980s. Now, the clothesline tackle and forearm shiver are not exactly the same. Obviously, a clothesline involves hitting a player with the arm at the neck or upper torso, while a forearm shiver involves just using the forearm to hit an opponent, but obviously are very both similar to each other. And this one, for good reason, you can imagine, was obviously banned by the NFL for safety concerns. The clothesline tackle, though, is often a more forceful and potentially dangerous move. One player who mastered the clothesline tackle was Dick Lane, aka Dick Night Train Lane. Played for the Rams, Cardinals, and Lions, and if you've never seen his highlights, his nickname sums up the type of player that he was, and his tackling style was so vicious that the NFL had to ban the clothesline tackle. The next play I wanted to talk about is jumping over the center. This one should be more familiar with people, as we've all seen it before, players jumping over the center to block a field goal, but the league did ban jumping over the center to block field goal attempts in 2017 over concerns for player safety. The interesting thing is there were no known instances of players getting hurt attempting to block a field goal in this manner, and it used to be a pretty frequent sight of players jumping over the center to block a field goal, including the Seattle Seahawks legend Cam Chancellor. Another player who frequently jumped over the line was Troy Polamalu of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He did this on multiple occasions, including times where he even stopped them for a loss, and he used to count the snap count and perfectly jump over the line to make a tackle. But the NFL didn't like it, saw it as a safety concern, and it was banned in 2017. Although that is one play that I would like to see come back, and I think a lot of you would also agree. This next one is very interesting. It is the Fumblerooski. It is a trick play where players would place the ball on the ground and another would pick it up and go the opposite direction to where the defense thought they were heading. And one of the most famous plays and examples is the Holy Roller, which the Oakland Raiders used to score a game-winning touchdown against the San Diego Chargers in 1978. Another Fumblerooski famous play came in the 1984 Orange Bowl game when number 1 ranked Nebraska was trailing Miami, and Nebraska coach Tom Osborne called for the play where Nebraska quarterback Turner Gill effectively fumbled the snap, and a Nebraska player picked it up and scored on the play. And this play has been banned since the late 70s in the NFL. It was legal in the NCAA until 1992. Now, a version of this play where the quarterback places the ball behind him is still legal, and we recently saw a creative play by the Detroit Lions and offensive coordinator Ben Johnson this past season, as the NFL banned the Fumblerooski decades ago, but Ben Johnson came up with a creative play where Jared Goff threw a 21-yard touchdown pass to Sam Laporta on the opening possession of the second half against the Chicago Bears, where he pretended to stumble after taking a snap while faking a handoff to Jahmyr Gibbs, often referred to now as the Stumblerooski, and even a Lions offensive lineman yelled fumble to add to the deception, leaving Laporta wide open for an easy touchdown. Laporta, though, said that the play was named Stubble Bum, but after the Holy Roller play, the NFL came out that if a fumble occurs on a 4th down, any opponent may advance the ball. The player who fumbled is the only player of his team who is permitted to recover and advance the ball. So we will never see a play like the Holy Roller again that the Oakland Raiders accomplished against the San Diego Chargers. The next and final play I wanted to talk about is the Dropkick kickoff, as there was a situation with the Baltimore Ravens and the head coach John Harbaugh went deep into his bag of tricks on a kickoff late in the game against the Chiefs, where the Ravens were kicking off down 5 with 2:01 to play in the 4th with only 1 timeout, and if the Chiefs got the chance to return the ball, they'd burn the 2-minute warning, but Justin Tucker, their kicker, did a really fancy drop kick, sending the ball soaring high into the air, and Kansas City Chiefs had the fair catch for the ball, which saved Baltimore Ravens technically another timeout, as the Ravens froze the clock at 2:01 and preserved the 2-minute warning. Now, it didn't matter in the end. The Chiefs held on to the ball for the rest of the game, but it was a very interesting strategy and play that the Ravens came up with after the 2019 game, though, against the Kansas City Chiefs. And while they technically didn't ban it after, John Harbaugh said after Justin Tucker's drop kick kickoff that we talked to the league office. They said it was legal, we could do it. But then in the weeks after the game, the league decided it didn't like what it saw on the field, and the NFL even insinuated that the kick was never legal at all. And by definition, a drop kick is a kick by a player who drops the ball and kicks it as or immediately after it touches the ground. If that does not happen, the play should be shut down and a flag thrown for a false start. Definition is pretty vague, and if the player has to kick the ball immediately after the ball hits the ground, you could argue that Tucker did that with his drop kick, but it was still a clever way to save that 2-minute warning timeout. And obviously just the drop kick kickoff was a very slick move and was also a very good one by Justin Tucker in that moment, which caught a lot of people off guard when he did it. So those are some of the most bizarre plays to be banned by the NFL, and obviously there is tons of other plays out there, but those are the ones that I found most interesting. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. But with that, if you guys did go ahead to enjoy this video, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I would greatly appreciate it, and we will see you guys in the next video.